Welcome to Numbers Simplified. In this channel, we seek to simplify and solve numerical problems. And today, we'll be looking at differentiation, specifically looking at the quick and easy way of performing the chain rule. And take note, this is part 12. And I encourage you to check out all the other playlists that we have so far and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our future uploads. But currently, we are on the differentiation playlist and we still have more videos that we're going to cover on differentiation. Now recall, from the differentiation by substitution or the chain rule method that we covered in video part 3, check it out if you haven't seen it as yet. So if we have y is equals to f of x all raised to the power n, where the n is a power and n is an element of real numbers, then to find the derivative of y, we are going to follow the following 3 steps. So the quick and easy approach would make use of the 3 steps. So get them right and you're good to go. The first one is bringing down the power n. So the n that is from the power, we bring it down so that we have our y prime is equals to n times something something that we're going to look at in step number 2 and 3. So the second step is to identify the inner function, which is the f of x, inside the brackets or the parentheses. So we differentiate that inner function f of x so that we get f prime of x. Now, implying that our y prime becomes the n that we obtained in step number 1, the power that we dropped, times the f prime, which is the derivative of the inner function. Now, we still have something that we are going to include, which we are going to look at in step number 3. So for step number 3, reduce the power by 1. So whatever we had as our initial function, we are going to reduce its power by 1. That is to say, we are going to have y prime is equal to n times f prime of x times f of x all raised to the power n minus 1. So in short, y prime is n f prime of x, f of x to the power n minus 1, which we can denote in this particular manner. Right, with that in mind, let us take a look at example 1. So the question says, find the dy dx if y is equals to 2x minus 1 raised to the power 5. So the solution. The first thing that we do is to bring down the power. In this case, the power is 5. So n is equals to 5. Therefore, we're going to have y prime is equal to 5 times something that we are going to obtain in step number 2 and 3. So step number 2, we differentiate the inner function, but we need to identify what that inner function is. The inner function is 2x minus 1, and we know that the derivative of 2x minus 1 would give us f prime of x, which is equal to 2. Therefore, our y prime now becomes 5 times 2 times something, which we're going to talk about in step number 3. So number 3, reduce the power by 1. So we know that the original power was a 5. We reduce it by 1 so that we have 5 minus 1. Therefore, y prime becomes 5 times 2 times 2x minus 1 raised to the power 5 minus 1. And simplifying that further, we are going to get y prime is equal to 10 times 2x minus 1 raised to the power 4. And that is how we get the solution. Great then. Let's look at number 2. So this is the second example in this quick and easy chain rule approach. So we are asked to find the first derivative of y and we're given the function as 3x squared plus 4 raised to the power 4. So the solution. The first step, we bring down the power, which is a 4, n is equals to 4, implying that y prime is equals to 4 times something. We move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is all about identifying the inner function within the brackets, which is 3x squared plus 4. And now with that inner function, that will mean that the first derivative, or f prime of x, becomes 6x. Therefore, the y prime has something multiplied to it. So we have a 4 times 6x. Then we are moving on to the last step. In the last step, we reduce the power by 1. That is to say, 4 minus 1. The power was a 4, so we reduce that power by a 1. Therefore, y prime becomes 4 times 6x times 3x squared plus 4 raised to the power 4 minus 1. And simplifying that one further, we are going to get y prime is equal to 24x times 3x squared plus 4 raised to the power 3. And that's how we would get the final answer. Of course, we would still get the same answers if we used the substitution and the chain rule. However, those are a little bit long, and this one is the quick and easy approach. Now, if you have made it thus far, I say congratulations to you, and I leave you with the following task. Make sure to post in your questions and answers that you may have. I'll be glad to go over your questions and your answers. Thank you so much for watching Numbers Simplified, and make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our future uploads. And remember once again, God loves you.